Hello. I am talking about budding today. Lock budding. Kill me, please. Because, wow. What can I say? What can you say? You saw my hair in the first video before, how it was like really long and natural. And I was a loose natural. And then even at my first month, my hair, after I got my locks started, was this long. It was almost the same cylindrical shape all throughout, but now the budding season is in. Okay, look at all these little bumps all about my hair, all about and all throughout. Budding started for me in the second month. It was bad. I think it was after my second or my first professional retwist. My my hair looked like it was erupting in acne. It was just crazy. It was worse than this. This is not even as bad as it was. And I'll post a picture right here. But yeah, there were like hills and valleys all throughout it. And you know, I'm looking at YouTube and I'm hearing everybody else's testimony and they're like, yay, budding finally. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is horrible. How do you look forward to this? And I realized one common denominator of all these people was that they started on shorter hair. They started on hair that was like this long. And I feel like if you're going to start locks, that's the way to go, because if you already have really long hair like I did, you'll find that you'll have a bud here. Let me find a lock that is still in that phase. Okay. There's like 1, 2, 3 on this one. On this one, there's several. So you'll see budding all throughout the length of each lock. On longer hair, you'll probably see like 4 or 5, as opposed to shorter hair where it could only be up to 2 maybe, and then even then your hair starts to look like more mature because they're getting thicker, and at the ends they're getting more solid, as opposed to starting on longer hair. So if I were to do it again, I wouldn't start on, because I've never had, I guess, short natural hair. Was growing up, I would get my hair done and pressed every couple weeks. It was always natural, but I never wore it in its natural state. I shouldn't say I never had short natural hair. I've never had short hair. But it was always natural, but it was always pressed. And it had that, looser texture because I kept pressing it. So it wasn't fit for locking, basically. But yeah, I wouldn't cut my hair just to start over to lock it. If I were to do it again, I'll probably do it the same way. But understanding that I can't compare myself to anyone else with shorter hair and their budding experience, because they're like, yay, budding. I'm like, no. This isn't fun. So I'll post a picture here looking at what my hair looked like when the budding began and when it was really bad. It's starting to fill in now, and I'm understanding the science behind it all and why locks look like locks and how they take their shape, and just comparing like day 1 to month whenever, because budding is the reason why locks are locks, because there are little knots inside of each lock to help it lock, basically. So this is my theory. I could be wrong, but this is my experience. Okay, so for instance, pieces like this that have a lot of it looks like little peas in a pod looking locks, and these little bumps, your hair that is loose will eventually grow and lock itself around this. So eventually your lock, your matured lock, months and months down the line, is going to take the width of the thickest bud, basically. So do you see that space between my fingers and my hair? It meets this if I go this way, but the hairs will find that this is going to be the foundation of the lock, and it's going to go around this because this isn't going anywhere. So the locks, I'm sorry, not the locks, the hairs are going to have to adapt to how wide this is. All the way down. You know how I know? Because this one here used to look like this. And it's the same type of hair, or because I have different texture of hair throughout my hair, like the back is tighter than the front. But this is the second row of my hair. Look at the two. I don't know why this one is moving faster than this as far as filling out, but now you can see that that shape is becoming more uniform along the lock. So that's my theory. I think the hairs are going to just get as wide as the buds, and then eventually the whole part of your lock will take that width, which is good for me because I like ones like this. I like how thick this is, and I hope that it continues to grow as thick as that. Now let's talk about these ends. I have some ends that are really, they're struggling. They're struggling. They used to have a tight curl, and you couldn't tell until you were like really close to it that it's not locked. But now I think what happened was some pieces on the end, they shrunk up into the lock, so it left some of its friends behind. But I know eventually that it will begin to take the shape of this curl. So if it's like this S, these little hills and valleys of the S will be filled in by the loose hairs. You know how I know? Because I'm able to see it again on this side. You can see a little halo of hair circling around here, and eventually it will become something like, let me see if I have another example. Something like this. So now it's a firm tip at the end. There's no more little S's, and that space has been filled in. The hills and the valleys have been filled in. I don't know why this side is progressing faster than this side, but it is. So I will wait for it to happen organically, meaning let the ends become filled in and rounded at the ends on its own, because I tried two things. I wrapped some of the hair around itself like into a knot at the end, like this one and this one. I did that for some of the pieces around my edges. It worked for a while because they looked rounded, but then I found that they'll come loose if I'm washing it, so I would have to redo it, and I don't feel like doing that anymore because it's only temporary, and it's eventually gonna prolong the process of knotting at the end because I keep manipulating it. So no more of that. Another thing I did was rubber banding the tips, so kind of folding it and then getting a plain rubber band to tie it around itself. And that worked when my hair was black because I used black rubber bands. But then when I dyed it, it was apparent that, oh, the tips they're rubber banded, because now it's the black against this brown, and it looked weird. And I even forgot that I rubber banded some parts, so I had to take them out. And yeah, again, that's only going to prolong the process, so just let it happen naturally. Just get over it. You get over it, okay? So that's what I'm going through. Budding, it's fun for some and it's a nightmare for others. I will take it as it comes and just explain it away as part of the journey, because I am a soldier and I'm a fighter and I can do this. Yes, so like, comment, subscribe to my channel and give me feedback. Let me know if I'm crazy, okay? Because I really do believe this, and I want to know your experience, and I want to know if you have any questions or I'm just totally nuts. I want to know. So like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later, or you'll see me later, or maybe we'll talk because you're gonna comment. All right?